Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well and welcome to my office. Now in last week's video I promised you that I would show you a technique that allows you to get a long exposure look, and I'm talking your extended long exposure look, in your photos without having to use ND filters. So if you're looking to smooth out water, or if you're looking to create a nice fluffy effect in the sky, maybe a bit of streaking, then this could be the technique for you, particularly if you don't have any filters. Now, let's jump into Lightroom and let's show you what I took last week. So here's the image that I showed you from last week's video, and this image was compiled from 12 photos. So this is our end result, and these are the photos that we'll use to create it. So as you can see, they're all of a reasonable shutter speed. I think they're shot at 1/5 of a second. Certainly not enough to get you any form of smoothing in the sea or in the sky. So if you can, try and take the shots at the extended shutter speed you can get. So in this case, we went for 1/5 of a second. The more you can create the ethereal look to start with, the greater the effect is going to look in the final product. And of course, because we're shooting quite a few exposures, we need to make sure that our camera is static. So shooting on a tripod is probably the best way to go with this technique. You may be able to do it handheld if you're shooting really fast frame rates, but I would suggest trying to get as long as you can to start with and shooting it on a tripod so your scene doesn't change. So whilst we're talking about the settings, when I was out in the field, I did try to ensure that I was shooting with the highlights in mind. So here's the raw file. Now, if we look at our histogram, I'm not clipping out anything in the whites, and I'm not clipping out anything in the blacks in this case as well. So we have a good exposure. So with that in mind, it's just a case of continuing to capture various frames with different areas of water moving in them that we can blend together. Okay, so let's have a look at our first file. So this is my first file in the set, and I've applied some edits to it. So I only want to do some basic editing on this. My main concern is to make sure that I'm protecting the highlights and I'm protecting the shadows when I do this. So initially I've created a tone curve where I've just slightly lifted, there we go, lifted the blacks. That way I can't go to complete black within my edit. And then I've also done the same with the whites. I've dropped those a touch, just enough to make sure that I can't clip them out. And whilst I was there, I've created a little S curve. There we go. If I show you what that does, which just lifts the shadows a touch. There we go. And drops the highlights a touch, effectively flattening the file out a bit. There we go. Okay, so in terms of basic edits, I haven't touched anything. Okay. Yeah, definitely nothing there has been moved in the sliders. And the reason I do that is because I like to do my edit afterwards. Now, you can completely edit the whole file if you like. That's entirely your choice, but I just prefer to do it afterwards. Now, of course, I've taken away any dust spots. There we go. And any distractions. And I have applied my lens corrections. There we go. So chromatic aberration and profile corrections applied as well. And because I shot this on a 14mm lens, I have had to do a little work on the barrel distortion I was getting in there as well on top. And I think that straightened my horizon out nicely. Okay, and because of that, I've had to apply a little crop. There we go. So that's the basic edits done to the image. Now I need to copy those over to all of the other files. So with my edited image selected, I'm just going to hold down Shift and press my last image. There we go. That's highlighted everything, and you can tell that the one that's going to be pasted over everything in Lightroom is the one with the slightly brighter box. So once we've done that, we click sync, we check all, and then we synchronize. And that way all of our edits are applied to our 12 images and they are consistent. So that's the basic work done in Lightroom. And like I said, I like to perform the rest of the edit after I've merged the images together and created this effect. So what we need to do now is we need to jump over into Photoshop and start doing this process. And it's a very easy process. It's just 2 steps. Yeah, it's going to be that easy. The worst part about this is transferring the files from Lightroom to Photoshop, because it takes a while for Photoshop to open them, depending on how many images you've used. So now all of our images are synced together. We need to open them in Photoshop, and we simply do that by highlighting them all as we have there, right clicking, going to edit in, and then open as layers in Photoshop. And there we have it. All of our files are now open in Photoshop. As you can see, they're stacked into layers down the right-hand side. Now, if you have shot this manually or handheld and you think there might be some movement in the frame, the first thing we're going to have to do is make sure that the images are all aligned. Now, this is quite easy to do. In Photoshop, we just select our first image, and then we select our last image, hold down Shift and click. There we are. All of our images are now selected in their layers. We go over to Edit, and then we go Auto Align Layers, select Auto, leave everything else unchecked, and click OK. And as you can see, Photoshop has aligned the layers for us, and we have some gaps around the image where it's lined the images up. So we need to crop in, just to make sure that we don't have any of those white edges showing in our image. So I'm just going to lift the bottom and the top. That will do. Bring the edge in and bring that edge in to about there. I think, am I covered? Yep, that's it. Select enter. There we go, and our image is now cropped. So now we're in a position where we can actually blend the images together. And like I say, it's just a 2-step process. So let's jump back and I'll show you exactly what we need to do. So the first thing we need to do is to convert all of our layers into a smart object. Now, with all of the layers selected, as they still are, we go to Layer, Smart Objects, Convert to Smart Object. And once Photoshop does its wizardry pokery, there we go, you can see it's merged them all into one layer. But that's fine, that's exactly what we need. Our next step in the process is to generate that lovely, soft, ethereal look to the sea and the sky that we need. And to do that, all we need to do is go to Layer, Smart Objects, Stack Mode, Mean. And once Photoshop has done its magic, it generates for us a fantastic, beautiful, soft scene. And that's all there is to it. We now have our file that's got that lovely ethereal look to the sea and the sky, giving us that long exposure feel. So I need to edit this image. Now, when you save these files back into Lightroom, there's a possibility, if you're set up like I am on my computer, and I don't know how to change it, I'll be quite honest, that the file size is going to be too big to save back. So to compensate for that, we need to flatten our image. And what we'll do is select the layer, right click, and then we'll go flatten image. And there we go, we've condensed it down to one layer. Okay, so now we can save as a TIFF. File, save, change that to TIFF. There we go. And I will change that to edit, just so I can got different file name. Save. I don't want any compression, and OK. And there we have it. Our image is saved into Lightroom. So there we are. All that leaves me to do is to put an edit on this image, and I'll do that and I will show you that at the end. I think this video's gone on long enough and we're sat in the middle of the heat wave and I'm in a room where I can't put the fans on. So that's enough from me. But if you've done this sort of thing before, I'd love to hear about your experiences with it and whether you use any of the other stacking modes that are in there. Or if you haven't done it before, is this the sort of thing that floats your boat? Will it get you out of a pinch when you're stuck somewhere with no ND filters? I actually quite like the ethereal look that it sort of creates. So yeah, it does float my boat. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Here's the comparison of the two images, and I'll see you all in the next one.